look, before I'm wore out, and I've got to remind myself what I'm going to talk about, because the Erica Kirk stuff, look, and these words. All right. Protester at the Erica Kirk thing. There it is. So, where's some protester interrupts Erica Kirk during TPUSA Women's Leadership Summit opening. How so he shouts, "You protect PDFs"? Is that what he did? And then acted like he got shot and shit. I just seen where Fox News said it showed protester. Listen, how is that protesting? That's not, if the news is fair and balanced, we have to identify something. We have to look at, if you're a psychologist, I want you to understand, we have to look at this act. Okay? Hang on. Did the protester at the Erica Kirk thing pretend what Charlie Kirk went through? There it is. Sicko dresses up as Charlie Kirk, reenacts his assassination at an event hosted by his widow. Okay, so there it is, protester. There it is, protester, liberal protester. But dresses up as Charlie Kirk, and I'm trying to talk to you like, since you think it's real, well then let's break it down and show you how insane that see, y'all have been conditioned so long with this word protester that terrorism now is the word protesting. And the news, since they're fair and balanced, they can't talk about how it's really terrorism is what it is. Because we're going to look at safe spaces and terrorist cells is what we're going to do. And then we're going to look at how a safe space and all these liberals and your children in these colleges, they're contriving shit in these little bitty safe spaces. And then they go out and attack people with violence. Well, a terrorist cell is a safe space here with them. Nobody else gets in, and they're in there plotting, and they go out and attack. There's no fucking difference. There's no difference. So, listen, the same way an alcoholic will not admit that he's an alcoholic is the same way that you will not admit that you have been conditioned over and over for years now with that word protester that really means terrorist. When you look at the act itself, he is imitating a death, which is the most childish behavior ever. And then when the news picks that up, they're advertising that to these minds out here that are the weakest minds ever, ever, ever. These games that everybody's playing, and especially these children on their gadgets that they say is brain exercises, the brain runs the whole anatomy. And 90% of children now are, if they're not obese, they're skinny, and they've never had water, they've never had food they're made of, they've had nothing but chemical substances from the day that they have been on this earth. So the brain has been designed with the opposite of what it's supposed to be made of. And then you tie in these screens that agitate the brain, program the brain early in life. And then whenever these people feel fit to change everything, they control every news station that there is. They control everything that you get. So when when you can admit that they have changed the name terrorist to protester, then you can be making headway like an alcoholic. Because deep down inside, you know that's the truth. It's the truth. And for the news knows this. CEOs of these news stations know that they are every night, all day long, you got ass, it's in your ass. News is in your ass, ass. They know that each story, a psychologist should know this, stories are going to ignite certain emotions within each human being. And then these human beings are vaxxed up, have pills left and right. They got all these fake mental illnesses influenced by screens, chemicals since they were born by design. And they control all that. So what we're going to do is, and the news advertises it. They know that statistically, it's going to get several individuals, and it's going to keep adding fire on top of the brain. We're here just fair and balanced. Oh, look, here's another protester acting like he's 2 years old is what they should say. But see, then you would have the satanic liberal Satanists that they are, demons, come at you. Well, we're fair and balanced. We don't say that. Well, but if you're a professional, that's childish behavior and you identify that. You're leading thousands of people each night, news stations. When do y'all ever say, hey, you know what? We're going to take a break from you literally watching this every night, and we're going to go outside. We're going to go outside and look up and enjoy God is what we're going to do. But no, it's all day, every day. Screens everywhere. Chick-fil-A, it don't matter. McDonald's, screens everywhere. Screens in schools, universities, houses, screens. And you really think that that's the best invention ever. Some of y'all grew up without that shit, and you know deep down as well as I do. So what we'll do is the definition of a terrorist cell. A terrorist cell is a small, semi-independent, covert unit that belongs to a larger terrorist organization. Okay, the word unit, add Y to that, unity, because a unit in black magic represents a shit ton of stuff, units within units. But this unity they're pushing is this unity through this screen. They're eradicating religion. Even if you're against religion and you're atheist, you should be on my side and God's side, even if you're against it. Because you know deep down that it doesn't matter. You can see they're slowly nitpicking and getting rid of everything. And then the news gets on there and calls you racist and all this, while they're teaching children to be trannies, opposite sexes and everything, which is terrorism. And until all of you wise up, all your children will be devoured in time. So we're going to redirect this. So this is what Matt would do to the news stations to destroy them. This video will get around. They'll have to take it down because I'm giving you a side-by-side, the exact same definition for a safe space of these liberal satanic demons and a terrorist fucking cell, which would be Al-Qaeda, in which the news stations push each and every fucking day and have destroyed your children. So a pride cell is a small, semi-independent covert unit that belongs to a larger pride organization. By dividing a massive network into distinct, isolated clusters, universities, schools, screens, and all that, Violent, subversive movements protect themselves from being fully dismantled if law enforcement infiltrates a single group. The law's already. The DEI's, that's terrorism. It's terrorism. Look, cells consist of 3 to 12 members. They function like the biological cells of a larger organism, operating semi-independently to minimize the damage a compromised member can cause to the whole organization. Okay, Hillary goes down, the news goes fucking crazy with other news stories. So that's a distraction and everybody forgets it and nobody ever goes to fucking prison because it's terrorism. How do you know you ain't in like a cell? You might be at home, but how do you know you're not in prison? You don't get to go, I'm not in prison. That's what a 2-year-old will do. I'm saying that because I want that to be a headline in your subconscious forever. If you just constantly think about it. You know, am I in a cell? In a sense. That will expand in many different avenues, but you won't get it all at once. Your brain's been designed to get an instant answer. And this is not an instant answer kind of shit. This is basic common sense, but you've been compressed. The same way that the printing press presses words on these pages is no different than these screens. They compress thought. It's all over daily. Bam, bam. And then when they change the words, it's like this. See, if you wear a certain hat or a name, then you get attacked by these people. You know what I mean? But they can wear shirts that say, fuck Jesus, burn Bibles, burn flags, burn everything down, and you can't do nothing to them. And then the news will still say, well, we're fair and balanced, instead of saying they're a bunch of fucking maladjusted demons. But they're the demons that have to relay all this bullshit. Now listen, I want to show you something. This is a serious video. This kind of shit drains me, okay? So I won't be doing it again to the Jesuits and shit. They already know that it doesn't matter. I'm not on a big stage, and that's what saved my life. Truthfully, but it's bigger than all that shit. Stage is the word in itself. But this is gematria right here. This is satanic gematria. The term black magic words is 666. Okay? You don't care about this, but yet this is a code, and it's a cipher to demons that keep us in bondage. Okay? So what I'm going to do is key in this phrase, satanic gematria, because for one, that term, that phrase, terms and agreement, terms, all these words have to do with shit you have no idea about. So what we're going to do is key in satanic gematria. It's 666. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to key in, what's the main thing I've been trying to teach you? Saturn. Saturn, Saturn, Saturn. Okay, so we're going to go right back to the same cipher. Okay, and we've got Saturn right here. Saturn. I'm going to throw some shit at you quick. This is not, you'll have to watch this again and think. So Saturn is 303. And how many times have you heard this? Science did that. Science did that. Compression, printing press, words pressing on a piece of paper, constant compression from a screen, compressing on the subconscious. Science did that. Science. 303. You take the 0 out in numerology and there's your 33. Because real quick, what is the magical square of Saturn? Kamiya. The magical square of Saturn, also known in Kabbalistic and occult traditions as a Kamiya, is Camilla Harris is a 3x3 grid containing the numbers 1 through 9, COVID-19. It is uniquely arranged so that every row, column, and diagonal adds exactly up to 15. The tarot card 15th is the devil. Okay? So 1 through 9 using this right here. Google it. A 3x3 grid. 1 through 9. I told you it's Satan. So now what we're going to do is we're going to key in 303. What that is. And what do we have? We got 666. And to beat it all off, everybody remembers 9/11, right? Okay? Everybody remembers 9/11. Well, United Nations, there's that word united. United Nations ritual is 9/11. Okay? So, do you want me to give you one more? These are all terms that have been hexed, and I can see every one of them. Let's see. And then we'll talk just for a second. Yeah. This is the, and I can give you so many more, but this term is all day long black magic. 9/11. 9/11. So, showing you that right there is going to be irrelevant because it's I have to think back before this was just thrown all on me and just blossomed. You know, it took a long time to start seeing it. A long time. It took years. Because you'll see people doing that gematria shit on, they got videos everywhere, but they're all full of shit, every one of them. You can throw them all away. They're no good. They're no good. Okay? They're no good. They're used for dark forces. But the main one is this satanic gematria. That's the big boy. Then you got Latin, of course, but this is the big boy. And see, and this shit right here has to do with black magic. It's what it has to do. And I mean, we basically gave you, it's a side-by-side comparison of the safe spaces and the terrorist cells. They gather whatever and they're spread out everywhere. There's no different in it, not in anything whatsoever. And for the news stations, listen, they will not call me, I can tell you that. They will stay in their bullshit. You better believe I am fucking heavily observed. Okay? Because their little code, I just laugh at it. It's just funny. Because I can see right through them. Do you see the news, how it's 201? News, 201. All right. Have I not always blasted these Jessies? Huh? The number 201 Jesuits holds a critical place in Catholic history, satanic history. And it's demons. That whole structure. Black represents Saturn. It don't matter. The referees wear white and black because they're judging. The black robe the judge wears is Saturn. You don't have a clue of what fuck y'all are in, I can tell you that. And it's okay because it's not going to change, but you need to prepare. You know, you need to prepare for these, for 10 years or for 9 years going into this next election. They've been programming these children. They've been coming out. These children are obese. They're pathetic. They have all these diseases from drinking sugar drinks and never eating good. But yet they've got to have 4 shots for school. So instead of using the money in all those shots to make those children learn who they are and make them healthy, they've made them fucking disgusting. And then, but they got to get shots. And then all those idiot fucking parents, do you see how this is not real. These people are not fucking real. Some are, but they can see it. If you can see what the fuck is going on just a little bit, then you're not an idiot. They're creating a vote. Right here it is. It's the 201 Jesuits. Right there. Right there. So, News 20. Listen, I can drill you in the face with all their little codes. And it's just like a combination lock, though. See, those numbers coincide with the zodiac. Okay, a combination lock, real quick. A combination lock, old school. There we go. One of these right here. Yeah, here you go. See this? See, it goes one way. That's an invention of the zodiac, the wheel, and the constellations. In the same way you unlock a locker, okay, there's space in there. All right? Well, what's occupying that space in a locker? More than likely books. Well, in each one of those constellations up there and behind them, it's space, but not what you think. And that space is occupied by equal amount of good as evil. And shit can be summoned into this world through black magic. The same way that those plants every year, those are beings. All that life out there, it's summoned. The summer, the sun goes to the summit, the highest it can go. That's the real summit, summer. The sum of divisors of numbers. And see, that's the thing. The 12 constellations conjure all that out there. The 12 jurors are conjuring a verdict. Listen, whatever you see out there in your society is a mirror image of what you don't fucking know. It wasn't just made up out of nowhere. People didn't invent shit out of nowhere. Everything was recreated into this materialistic world, materiality that we're in, which implies possessions. Okay? Possession implies what? Have you ever seen The Exorcist? The lock, though, real quick, behind Gemini, the twins, which is the Twin Towers, everything they do has to do with Gemini because there's a portal behind it to where heavy dark forces. It's not that they're here. It's full. And this thing's just going to they're going to keep compressing you with more news and more lies. And it's if you study, look real quick, the Phoenix cycle from birth to fire destruction. There we go. The Phoenix is a legendary immortal bird that represents perpetual renewal, transformation, and resilience, which has to do with the Phoenicians. Originating in Greek and Egyptian mythology, its famous cycle of death and rebirth spawns several hundred to over 1,000 years, ending in a spectacular display of fiery destruction. And that's where this is heading. Just Google it. The Phoenix cycle from birth to fire destruction. And a bunch of shit came up. So, the prime of life, the Phoenix lives for centuries, traditionally 500 to 1,000 years. In unparalleled majesty, it is known for vibrant plumage and some legends, healing tears, the gathering. When the bird feels its age and the end is near, it travels from its distant home to Heliopolis, Egypt, which that's in Scripture, the city of the sun, the city of Heliopolis. There, it gathers rare cinnamon twigs, myrrh, and aromatic spices to build a nest at the very top of the temple of the sun or a palm tree. Fiery destruction. Seated in its nest of spices, the phoenix waits for the sun to rise. The intense rays of the sun ignite the nest, and the old bird is completely consumed by the flames. rebirth. From the smoldering ashes of its predecessor, a new young phoenix arises. So a new world order. Okay? A new world order is going to arise. Once these demon Democrats, look, the journey forward, the young phoenix anoints the remaining ashes with myrrh and forms an egg-like ball, carrying it back to Heliopolis to place it at the altar of the sun god. It begins its life anew. But you know, the immigration is being pushed. Everything's being forced to where you're going to be led into digital ID, which is crazy. And then you'll have a chip, and these children will have chips in their heads. So they're, you know, we don't think for ourselves now. You might think you do, but stop watching that shit and find out what alcoholics go through when they're trying to quit drinking. There's all kinds of thoughts and shit flying through their head. They can't just stop. It's racing everywhere. That's what that causes. I hate the screens. That's what I'm saying. It gives me a fucking headache. And, you know, that's another thing. It's like we can prove that it's caused more harm than it's done good. But there's nobody fighting it like that. Nobody, well, they make it to where if you do step up, then you risk losing whoever you are. Your credibility, possibly your money, you know. So that's why it's just better to just not say nothing. Because you get sucked into this shit. It's not real. It's these Jesuits that fucking, all these democratic cities, they've been raising little Jesse demons, little Ahrimanic demons. Seriously. And just like in Batman, when they get control, they're going to hang and kill, and these arenas will be converted into human sacrifice again because you're not going along with shit, and it'll be rooted on just like fucking sports is right now. You just can't see. You see in the day, if you could do an inventory on each decade and more impulses, you know, you go back 120 years, there wasn't none. So there wasn't going to be much crime at all. So the more impulses are being thrown into these ears, the more reaction and reflexes, and then eventually you've just got pure evil everywhere. Disguised as good, though. You know, but I mean, it's the safe space is a terrorist cell. They can't say that it's not. We can give it to you. You see, the black magic words are 666 because it's Satan. And most people will go, no, Matt, you'll sound just like the Democrats. You don't understand. You don't know. It's force. We're going to force you. These are demons. Force what? You've only had a screen your entire life and shots from day one. You're a fucking walking chemical. That's it. Whatever's in the brain is chemicals. It designed it. See, the obesity that the children are going through at such a young age, the organs are grown all deformed and shit, and that's what causes so many fucking problems. Doctors are ignorant. A child should never be out of shape while their organs are growing and sitting in a desk, and they're growing, but yet they're obese, sitting in a desk, getting worse, and then doctor is saying, well, it's heredity. No, it's not. It's generational fucking poisoning, demon, satanic, crazy shit. And the average person is so dumb. And that's why I get so much feedback, negative. It's, listen, you're not going to get better listening to these fucking idiots that are terrorists. That's the whole thing. These children have never been punished, never been disciplined, never been shit, nothing. They claim they've got this God, and they have no remorse for any fucking action that they make. None. They have no sympathy, no empathy. They have no true morals whatsoever. The only cosigner that they have in this world is a screen. That's it. That's it. Just drive down the interstate. There's going to be no more buying. I'm going to buy me a spot off the interstate. All that shit's gone. It's gone. It is fucking gone. If it was real, then it would be so much opportunity everywhere, but they're squeezing everybody in and then driving everybody crazy at the same time. And then everybody just stays in the day. They can't see the future based off of the past. They can't see the future based off impulses coming into this world and through screens, through billboards, through movies, through fucking stars, through musicians, through fake shit, through shows, through radio, goddamn commercials. It's compressed into you. The same way that all that out there is compressed with the magnetic field is the same way that we as a human species is compressed with AI. It's that easy. Yet it is impossible to break that barrier, which would be a bind. In black magic, you're binded. You're binded. If you go get a binder and open the binder, just think about the pages being binded. So think about your subconscious being compressed with words at a young age without you even knowing it, driving by them. Binding. It's not hard. And it's a veil, though. See, your faculties. All right? One way to unlock your faculties is you got to start, however you feel about Earth. If you'll start looking up and looking, paying attention to the seasons and just nature, period, you'll feel it. Your faculty, few faculties, because you don't have true faculties. Your faculties have been designed in like this veil right here. All this out here has been left from you. It's been kept from you. So all we've had is over here. And until you can, this veil's not just like, oh, let me get over there. That's how we're designed. Oh, I can't see it. It's like, well, you can't see it because we're damaged. That's why you have to unlock what has never been designed the way it was designed to do. And I'm being sort of not really secretive, but I mean, you really have to speak in a way to where either somebody just says, fuck him, or somebody's like, they ponder on it. Because speaking about certain things can really fuck people up. Bad. Just think about it. There's no... Why are the schools not teaching the children how to swim? Swimming's the best exercise that there is. Instead of them learning how to swim, they're getting shots and becoming obese. And I can drill the news stations into another fucking era. I will jam them up. Go get the CEOs. Go get the biggest fucking Jesuits. What's happening with Matt Childs was not planned. There's a grid that they made with the medical industry for this to not happen. That medical industry kidnaps the souls. The games you play are tranquilizers to the brain. Okay? Once you can see that, the rest will fall in place. But I mean, it's not real. Listen to me. I know you want to trust your provider, but the health industry, the workers are not healthy. The workers are very mean and evil, and they're always thinking about sex and orgies and just fucking blaming everybody. And that's all through those hospital career industries. I don't want any of those demons working or looking at me at all. I can take care of my fucking self. I know who I am, and I know what to take from nature to fix what's wrong with me. And it's free. So when you can't understand that, in your world, this is what an Ahrimanic mind is. You have to squash this Ahrimanic mind. An Ahrimanic mind thinks that you have to go out there, or somebody licensed has to go grow spearmint, and go by guidelines by the government, and then cut it, cultivate it, package it, send it to a company, and then they got to break it down and add additives to it, and then they put them in these black plastic fucking bottles with lids on them, and all these words and everything, and then it's sold for money. And then it says all natural. No, it's not. It was, but Ahriman added chemicals to it. And now you, since the news says, has it been tested in a lab? Well, a lab is your brain. So when you consume spearmint raw from earth, that goes straight to the brain. All that shit does. It builds your brain fluid. But you don't know that. That's God. That's the way with everything. There could be 1,000,000 apple trees everywhere. Go pick an apple. But no, it's all controlled. You got to go buy it. So I'm being very low key about what I'm saying, because this video, if you've listened to it, some of these things that you've thought, pondered, this will solidify it. But it will also, too, create certain avenues of thought that you need to be careful that you tread down. Because this door right here is very, very, very fucking emotional. They say it in the Matrix. He says the brain, when it gets to a certain age, it's fucking tricky. Talking about coming out of what it's only ever known, And I mean, just think about it. Some of y'all that are older, your grandpappy or whatever used to beat on the floor listening to wrestling. They didn't have TV. Get him! Well, he's speaking to a fucking speaker. What's the difference now? We're yelling at TVs. It's nothing. We can't let those emotions overrule everything. So, I love you.